Hello friends, today I will tell you the difference between ad hoc and infrastructure mode. So let's start. Not all Wi-Fi networks are created equal. Wi-Fi access points can function in either ad hoc or infrastructure mode, and many Wi-Fi enabled devices can only connect to infrastructure mode networks, not ad hoc ones. Okay, Wi-Fi networks in infrastructure mode are generally created by Wi-Fi routers, while ad hoc networks are usually short-lived networks created by a laptop or other device. But it isn't always so simple. So now let me explain infrastructure and ad hoc modes. Okay, most Wi-Fi networks function in infrastructure mode. Devices on the network all communicate through a single access point, which is generally the wireless router. For example, let's say you have two laptops sitting next to each other, each connected to the same wireless network, even when sitting right next to each other. They are not communicating directly, instead they are communicating indirectly through the wireless access point. They send packets to the access point, probably a wireless router, and it sends the packet back to the other laptop. And next, infrastructure mode requires a central access point that all devices connect to. Ad hoc mode is also known as peer-to-peer mode. Ad hoc networks don't require a centralized access points. Instead, devices on the wireless network connect directly to each other. If you set up the two laptops in ad hoc wireless mode, they'll connect directly to each other without the need for a centralized access point. So, this is the router, wireless and broadband router. Okay. Now let me tell you advantages and disadvantages. Ad hoc mode can be easier to set up if you just want to connect two devices to each other without requiring a centralized access point. For example, let's say you have two laptops and you are sitting in a hotel room without Wi-Fi. You can connect them directly with ad hoc mode to form a temporary Wi-Fi network without needing a router. The new Wi-Fi Direct standard also builds on ad hoc mode, allowing devices to communicate directly over Wi-Fi signals. Infrastructure mode is ideal if you are setting up a more permanent network. Wireless routers that function as access points generally have higher power wireless radios and antennas, so they can cover a wider area. Now, if you are using a laptop to set up a wireless network, you will be limited by the power of the laptop's wireless radio, which won't be as strong as a router. Basically, because laptop's Wi-Fi wireless radio and frequency is very small as compared to routers. Okay, ad hoc mode also has other disadvantages. It requires more system resources as the physical network layout will change as devices move around, while an access point in infrastructure mode generally remains stationary. If many devices are connected to the ad hoc network, there will be more wireless interference. Each computer has to establish a direct connection to each other computer rather than going through a single access point. If a device is out of range of another device it wants to connect to, it will pass the data through other device on the way. Passing the data through several computers is just slower than passing it through a single access point. Ad hoc networks don't scale well. So now I should tell you when to use each. Deciding when to use each type of network is actually pretty simple. If you are setting up a wireless router to function as an access point, you will want to leave it in infrastructure mode. If you are setting up a temporary wireless network between a handful of devices, ad hoc mode is probably fine. There is one other big catch here. Many devices don't support ad hoc mode because of its limitation. Android devices, wireless printers, Google Chromecast, and a wide variety of other Wi-Fi enabled devices don't want to deal with the problems of ad hoc networks and will refuse to connect to them. Only connecting to network in infrastructure mode, there is not much you can do about this. You just have to use a network in infrastructure mode rather than ad hoc mode. This is all about ad hoc and infrastructure mode. So hope you got enough information. Thank you.